Alright, this is part 2 of Notes 3. Alright, just to review or for you to rewrite. Get this in your notes. Awesome. There it went. Okay. Here, there is some extra steps. Put both equations in standard form. Multiply one or both equations by numbers so that one of the variables has opposite coefficients. Add the two equations together. One of the variables should cancel. Solve for the remaining variable. Substitute that value into one of the equations and solve for the other variable. Alright, write that stuff down. This is added steps because now they're going to be multiple step problems. For this one, number 1 is actually pretty similar to what we were doing before because this is just going to be -1. I am doing that because the coefficients for x are just 1, so I wanted to keep that top one the same, but the bottom one, I wanted to get the x's to cancel. And in doing so, I just have a y left equals 4. So then I'd have x plus y equals 6. If I take that bottom equation from its original form, x plus y equals 6 minus 4 minus 4. This goes to 0. X equals 2. If you're not writing all those steps down there and you're getting things wrong, you need to slow down and be able to do that. So that's how I would do this one. This second one here, I'm going to leave the top one by itself because I feel like the smallest number that I would have to multiply here is a -2. Okay, I'm going to pause for you. You should think about this. If I multiply this by a -2, I have -6x minus 2y equals -16. So somehow in your brain, when you look at things, you got to identify this would be the smallest 2 that I could subtract and cancel something out. So then 4 minus 6 is -2x. I know I got a negative, but that's how life is sometimes. 8 minus 16 is -2. Well, these negatives will cancel out, and x will equal 4, and I love that. Then what I usually do is go back up here. The one with the smaller numbers is 3x plus y equals 8. So I'm going to use that one. 3x, or 3 times 4 plus y equals 8. Okay, so it's going to be 12 plus y equals 8. Subtract 12 from each side. Looks like I got a y left, and 8 minus 12 is -4. The key to all of this is being able to identify what would be the easiest to multiply these coefficients by. Alright, so I maybe could have went up here and wrote a -2 here. That's what I want here to get those to cancel. Well, then I know I got to multiply everything by -2. I don't write it that way. That looks confusing. I like to put that parentheses in there and just distribute to all of them. Solve by elimination. Number 3. Number 3, I don't think there's any easy way to do it. So I just kind of looked at this one and said, hey, if I were doing it, let's make this a -10x here. So if I were to do that, I would have to do 2 times what? And that would be -5. So then I'd just distribute -5 here. I'm going to write it down here. 10 would be -10x, or -5 times 2. So -5 times -3 is positive 15y. And then -5 times 11 is -55. So now what I should see is that I'm adding these two rows, R-O-W-S. These two up. -10 minus 10 is 0, so this went to 0. And then 10 plus 15 is 25y equals 30 minus 55 is 25. So divide by 25 each side, and you get y equals, -25, you get -1. Now the other piece, I would say that this top row had the smaller value. So if I got rid of that, I would probably rewrite 2x minus 3y equals 11. 2x minus 3 times -1 equals 11. Alright, so I'd have 2x plus 3 equals 11 minus 3 minus 3, 2x equals 8, and I divide both by 2. So that point would be 4, negative 1. Remember, we're still solving for points on a graph. All right, you can graph all of these lines if you wanted to. 4 I did a little bit differently. I knew 5 and 12, the least common multiple of those is 60. So I know that 4 goes into 12 3 times. So I want this to be a positive 12 here. So to make that a positive, it looks like I got to multiply by a negative, and it's 3. So I would do negative 3 through all these. So I would just write it here, negative 15x. Negative 3 times negative 4 is plus 12y equals negative 90. So then you should see that that top part goes away. We're not using that anymore. This is my new line. 12 minus 15 is negative 3x. This does, in fact, go to 0. Is equal to, not negative. 96 is bigger, so it's just going to be 6. Divide by negative 3. Divide by negative 3. X equals negative 2. I like small numbers, so I'm going to go back and sub in there. 5x minus 4y equals 30. 5, now I put that x value in, minus 4y equals 30. Well, I don't know why I wrote 40. Equals 30. This was a negative 3. So this is going to be negative 10 minus 4y equals 30. So I was right. Plus 10, negative 4y equals 40. And I divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4, y equals negative 10. Bam. And I now have negative 2, negative 10. So that one would be a little bit hard to see on a graph because you got some negative 2 and negative 10 would be down a lot. Alright, so far I think I'm doing these all right. 6. Boom, 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 boom. I have 10 and 3, 5 and 3. 5 and 3 is 15, I guess. I'm going to use that. I'm going to show you why. 5 and 3 times those are 15. So right here, I see that one of them is positive and one of them is negative. So what I'm going to do is multiply this top by 15, or by 3 and get 15. And I'll multiply the bottom by 15 and get negative 15 to get them to cancel out. So that's what I'm thinking in my head. So I'll multiply this row by 3 and this row by 5. So it's easy to just multiply by a positive number. 30m, 3 times 10, plus 15n equals 15. And then it'd be 15m minus 15n is equal to 5 times 24 is 120. Alright, 45m. This went to 0, so that worked out well. And this is 135. As scary as those numbers look, I believe m is equal to 3. If you do that in your calculator. So now I'd probably take that bottom one. It started with 3m minus 3n equals 24. So that original one, I'm going to substitute m in right away because I'm running out of room. So 24. 3 times 3 is 9 minus 3n equals 24. I'm going to subtract 9. That goes to 0. Subtract 9. I have no idea what that is. 24 minus 4 is 20. Minus 5 is 15. So negative 3n equals 15. Divide by negative 3. Divide by negative 3. N equals negative 5. Even though these aren't x and y, m does come before n. So I'd probably just still write it 3, negative 5. I know that might be hard to graph. You might have to label it. We probably won't do that to you. This is going to be the same type of deal. We can see that the only positive and negative ones are right here. Okay, you could do 14 and 51, but 51's even a bigger, scarier number to multiply everything by than 21. So I would multiply the bottom by 21, multiply the top by 9. So you should have your calculator out. You should check these because I do make mistakes a lot. So this is top one, 126x plus 189y equals 126. For this bottom one, I get 63x minus 189y equals, this is negative 1071. At least this cancels out. That's what I'm looking for. Now I have 189x equals negative 945. Okay, that's why I told you the second half of it was going to be a little bit more difficult, because we get some awful looking numbers. In the grand scheme of things, it ends up being x equals negative 5. So you got to be pretty good with a calculator. I'm looking up there. I like 3x minus 9y is equal to negative 1. So I'm going to plug that negative 5 in for x. Save some room. Negative 15. So this is negative 15 minus 9y equals negative 51 plus 15 plus 15. Ooh, I like this. Negative 9y equals negative 36. If I divide both sides by negative 9, I wrote it there. It's there. Y equals 4. So I got negative 5 comma 4. Make sure I see two answers every single time. Alright, and you're just plugging that back in. I don't know. It's a good question. Alright. 3 word problems and we're done. Dante spent $11.25 on 3 new and 4 old. So 3 new. 3 new. So I want x equal to new is what I meant to write. Y equals old. Samantha spent $15.75 on 10 old and 3 new ones. Write a system of 2 equations that represents the amount. So here's what we got. Dante, he had 3 new plus 4 old is equal to 11.25. I don't know why I did time there. Okay. Samantha had 10 old. So that's y. So 10 old is y plus 3 new ones is equal to 15.75. So she spent more money. Here's what I would do. Multiply all this by negative 1. I'm going to write it underneath. So I would end up with negative 3x minus 4y equals negative 11.25. My brain triggered that because this is going to go away, and then I have 10 minus 4, so I don't have to deal with any negative numbers. I just have 6y equals 450. And you divide by 6, and y equals 75 cents. Now, am I done? No. I'm going to use the top one again, not for negative 1, but I'm going to write this. I'm going to write 3x plus 4y. Y is now what? 75 cents equals 11.25. Okay, so I'm going to have 3x plus 3 equals 11.25. Minus 3. Minus 3. 3x equals 8.25. Turns out 8.25 divided by 3 is x equals 275. Where's my extend page? Is that on here? Boom. Extend page. What does it ask me to find? How much does each type of comic book cost? New comic books are $2.75, while the old ones are 75 cents. Hey, I don't know. Does anybody ever see the 75-cent sign anymore? I'm not sure. I just wanted to write that sentence there. Make sure you're doing that on the quiz. Amy is walking straight path that can be... Alright, well, here you go. Represented by the equation negative 2x plus 3 equals 2x plus y equals 3. At the same time, Kendra is walking the straight path that has the equation 3y equals 6x plus 6. At what point will the two girls be in the same place? Here's how I would do this. and this is just your pilot speaking. Negative 6x. Right out of the gate, I'm going to move negative 6x to the other side. There's an equals there, that's 6, and it'd be negative 6x plus 3y. Because I know that when I rewrite this, first one, negative 2x, I gotta find a color that shows up. I'm throwing things, sorry. I don't know. Struggle bus right now. Negative 2x plus y equals 3. Alright, so then I'm going to rewrite my other equation. Negative 6x plus 3y equals 6. I should know that I gotta, there's nothing pretty here. Either way, I gotta multiply. I'm going to look at this inside one here. I'm going to go by negative 3 so I can subtract everything. Okay, what that's going to end up being is positive 6x minus 3y equals negative 9. This goes to 0. This goes to 0. So if I add this, this is 0 and this is negative 3. That's a false statement. That is no solution. But more importantly, I still have to write a sentence. At what point will the two girls be in the same place? The girls will not be in the same place. Okay, we are going to, something I do a lot and I haven't done in this class yet, is I am going to leave number 9 up to you guys to solve. And I'm going to help you out. I'm going to tell you that X is equal to 30-pound TVs and Y is equal to 50-pound TVs. Alright, that's how I set it up and solved it. And I want to see you guys come up and show me your notes, get them checked off. But not only that is you don't get to move on. You got to get that checked off, show it to me, and then I'll give you the practice sheet. Alright. Hopefully breaking it into 2 was better for you. Get this notes checked off and have a wonderful day.